Can you imagine waking up tomorrow morning and noticing something impossible? The sun looks slightly smaller, not because of an eclipse, not because of clouds, but because Earth is moving away from it, faster and faster, every hour carrying our planet deeper into the darkness of interstellar space. No warm future summers, no familiar sunrise, just Earth drifting into the vast emptiness between the stars. It sounds like science fiction, but what would actually happen if Earth somehow broke free from the sun and wandered into deep space? First, let's consider how such an event could happen. In reality, Earth is tightly bound to the sun by gravity, orbiting at about 30 kilometers per second. Escaping the solar system would require an enormous gravitational disturbance, perhaps from a rogue planet passing nearby, a close encounter with a wandering star, or some other extremely rare cosmic event. But for the sake of this scenario, let's assume it happens instantly. Earth receives a massive gravitational kick and begins traveling away from the sun forever. At first, life would seem almost normal. The sun would still shine in the sky. Days and nights would continue. Most people probably wouldn't notice anything unusual, but every second Earth would be moving farther away from its primary source of energy, and that would change everything. The amount of sunlight reaching Earth decreases rapidly with distance. If Earth doubles its distance from the sun, it receives only 1/4 of the solar energy, triple the distance, and only 1/9 remains. This means temperatures would begin falling much sooner than many people expect. Within months, weather patterns would start becoming unstable. Winters would grow longer and harsher. Growing seasons would shrink. Crops would begin failing in many regions. Long before the world froze over, humanity would face a food crisis unlike anything in history. As the years pass, the sun would continue shrinking in the sky. It would still appear bright, but not nearly as dominant as it does today. Global temperatures would steadily decline. Snow and ice would spread across higher latitudes. Polar ice caps would expand farther toward the equator. Entire ecosystems would begin collapsing as plants struggle to survive with less sunlight. Since almost every food chain on Earth depends on photosynthesis, the consequences would be devastating. Forests would die. Grasslands would disappear. Herbivores would starve. Predators would follow. One by one, the natural systems that support life on the surface would begin to unravel. Eventually, Earth would enter a true planetary winter. Average global temperatures would plunge far below freezing. Oceans would start freezing from the surface downward. Massive sheets of ice would spread across the seas, reflecting what little sunlight remained and accelerating the cooling process. Continents would become frozen wastelands. Winds would howl across endless fields of snow and ice. Most animals and plants would disappear entirely. But surprisingly, Earth would not become a completely frozen ice ball overnight. Even without the sun, our planet has another source of heat. Deep within Earth's interior, radioactive elements continue to decay, generating geothermal energy. This heat slowly rises through the crust and escapes into space. While it isn't enough to keep the surface warm, it could prevent the deepest parts of the oceans from freezing completely. Underneath kilometers of surface ice, liquid water could survive for an incredibly long time. In fact, some scientists believe Earth's oceans might remain partially liquid beneath a frozen shell, even if the planet became a rogue world. We already know that life can thrive in darkness. Deep on the ocean floor, entire ecosystems exist around hydrothermal vents, powered not by sunlight, but by chemical energy from Earth's interior. If Earth drifted into deep space, these hidden environments might become the final natural refuges for life. The question everyone would ask is simple: could humanity survive? The answer is surprisingly complicated. Billions of people almost certainly wouldn't make it. Modern civilization depends on agriculture, transportation networks, stable climates, and abundant natural resources. As temperatures plummet and food production collapses, societies around the world would face unprecedented challenges. Governments would struggle to maintain order. Resources would become scarce. Mass migrations would occur as people seek warmer regions and remaining supplies. The first years would be chaotic. Nations would compete for energy. Food would become more valuable than gold. Entire economies could collapse under the pressure. For many people, survival would become the only priority. Yet extinction is not inevitable. Unlike every other species on Earth, humans possess advanced technology. Long before the surface became completely uninhabitable, humanity would likely begin constructing underground habitats. Deep beneath the Earth's crust, temperatures naturally rise. Geothermal energy could provide heat. Nuclear reactors could generate electricity. Artificial lighting could support indoor agriculture, Entire underground cities might emerge, sealed away from the frozen world above. Imagine vast subterranean communities stretching for kilometers beneath the surface. Hydroponic farms producing food under artificial sunlight. Recycling systems carefully managing every drop of water and every breath of air. Underground transportation networks connecting isolated settlements. Humanity would no longer be a civilization powered by the sun. It would become a civilization powered by the earth itself. Of course, survival would not be easy. Maintaining a closed ecosystem is extraordinarily difficult. Every component would need to function perfectly. Food production, waste recycling, energy generation, oxygen supply, water purification. All of them would become matters of life and death. A major failure could threaten entire communities. Yet, if enough knowledge and infrastructure survived the transition, humanity might endure for thousands, perhaps even millions, of years. Future generations might never experience the world we know today. They might never feel sunlight on their skin, never hear waves crashing onto a beach, never stand beneath a blue sky. Instead, their lives would unfold beneath layers of rock and ice. Artificial lights would replace the sun. Engineered ecosystems would replace nature. Technology would become the foundation of survival. Meanwhile, something remarkable would be happening above them. The sky itself would begin to transform. As Earth journeys farther into interstellar space, the sun would continue fading until it resembles just another bright star. The familiar planets of the solar system would gradually disappear from view. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, one by one they would fade into the darkness. The solar system that humanity once called home would slowly vanish behind us. But there would be one unexpected benefit. Without sunlight overwhelming the sky, the universe would reveal itself in extraordinary detail. The Milky Way would blaze across the heavens with breathtaking clarity. Billions of stars would become visible. Distant galaxies would emerge from the darkness. Nebulae would glow across the cosmic horizon. Ancient clusters of stars would sparkle like jewels suspended in space. Future astronomers living beneath Earth's frozen crust might have the greatest view of the cosmos any civilization has ever experienced. Ironically, humanity would lose its home star while gaining a deeper look into the universe itself. And then, millions of years would pass in Nuhamwar. Now imagine skipping ahead millions of years. Earth is no longer a planet orbiting a star. It has become a rogue planet, a world wandering through the darkness between stellar systems, completely alone. The surface temperature has fallen to around -200 degrees Celsius. Vast frozen oceans lie beneath endless layers of ice. Parts of the atmosphere may have condensed and frozen onto the surface. From space, Earth would appear as a silent, frozen sphere drifting through the void. No sunlight, no seasons, no blue skies, only darkness, an ocean of black stretching in every direction. Yet beneath that frozen exterior, things may still be alive. Geothermal heat continues flowing from the planet's core. Deep underground reservoirs of liquid water may persist. Microbial ecosystems could survive in isolated pockets. Perhaps even more complex forms of life continue existing around hydrothermal vents in the dark oceans below. Life on Earth has survived asteroid impacts, supervolcanoes, ice ages, mass extinctions. Given a source of energy in liquid water, life finds a way. It always has, and perhaps it always will. If humanity still exists after millions of years, it would likely be unrecognizable compared to the civilization we know today. Entire generations might live and die without ever seeing the open sky. Children could learn about sunlight the way we learn about ancient legends. The concepts of beaches, forests, and blue skies might seem like myths from a forgotten age. Stories passed down from ancestors who once lived beneath a warm yellow star. Yet somewhere deep underground, surrounded by artificial lights, powered by Earth's internal heat, humanity could continue its story, building, learning, adapting, surviving, perhaps even thriving. So what would happen if Earth drifted into deep space? The surface world we know would vanish. Forests would disappear. Oceans would freeze. Most life would perish. Civilization would collapse and be forced underground. Yet Earth would not necessarily become a dead planet. Hidden beneath layers of ice and rock, life could endure. Human ingenuity, geothermal energy, and the incredible resilience of living organisms might allow our planet to remain inhabited long after the sun has become a distant memory. Earth would transform from a vibrant world orbiting a star into something far stranger, a wandering island of life crossing the darkness between suns. A frozen planet carrying the last remnants of a once bright civilization through the endless cosmic night, drifting year after year, century after century, million after million years, alone among the stars. And somewhere beneath kilometers of ice, humanity might still be there, looking outward, searching the darkness, wondering if another star could someday become home. A new sunrise, a new beginning, a second chance. Until then, Earth would continue its silent journey through the universe, a frozen world, a lonely traveler, a tiny spark of life refusing to go out. And perhaps that would be the most remarkable thing of all. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through one of the most extreme possibilities imaginable, be sure to subscribe for more explorations of science, space, and the mysteries of our universe. And let us know in the comments, do you think humanity could survive on a rogue Earth? Until next time, keep looking up.